All right, here we go. We're gonna sandblast everything now. I'm using glass 100 grit media. Works pretty good on some other stuff that I use it on. Pretty much all these other panels that we use to steel it on, we use that glass media to blast. So basically all we're gonna do is do the underside. We'll probably maybe do half of this and then rotate it, go to the other side and spray it. Or I might bring my step stool in here just so we can get this top side, just do it all on one side. Probably do the underside. I don't know how far this media is gonna take me. I think it's close to 3/4 of a tank. We'll try to get as much as we can and then probably recover it, whatever falls down, put it back in the tank and then try to finish it. So I'd like to at least do the underside and get it sprayed, and then we can start doing like these frame connectors and stuff. And there's a few other spots I need to finish welding, some holes that whoever had it before ran some like self-tappers in, and I still gotta fix this spot too, a couple other areas, so yep. We'll get it all blasted first. Okay, so I got some of it sandblasted, but this is taking forever. So I went and bought 2 buckets of sand, so 100 pounds. And I pretty much only got this done, a little bit of the center, some like the framing, a little bit on the bottom. And I don't know, this like thick undercoating is taking forever to actually like get through. So last night I just used a torch and scraper and try to get most of this stuff off. Probably just gonna wire wheel the rest. Just takes too long to blast and then to pick it all up and then to filter it and reblast. It's taking too long, so by the time I spend picking up like all the sand, I might as well just wire wheel it, you know, because I can just keep going. I don't have to stop. Like all that thick stuff up there, got some of it off right here. Yep, so I guess I'm gonna spend my day doing that. It'll take a while. All right, got most of it all cleaned up, sandblasted and ground down. I used a torch and scraper to get most of this undercoating off. And we just gotta go around and fix a few things. So I'm gonna weld up that hole. There's a couple spots right here. And it almost looks like somebody used a plasma cutter on that. And then somebody ran some self-tappers, these wheel wells for underglow. So we gotta weld those up too. Yeah, not too bad. I also cut this out. I'm gonna go with, it's actually that tank over there. It won't be that one. That's what I used to kind of test fit and trim it to this car, but it'll be a an EFI fuel injected one. That's actually out of a Mustang. So surprisingly enough, we got old Mustang parts and new Mustang parts going into this thing. So see how many people would make mad with that. But regardless, I think this will be a lot better. So this will end up getting box cut all the way around, and then this tank probably only sits down maybe right there. I won't be able to use the tire well, obviously, you know, so I won't have a spare tire, but this fuel tank will be pretty tucked up in here. One downside is on the top, I'm actually gonna have to run my fuel lines up here, and I don't necessarily like that, but I think it'll be all right. I think I can actually clock it so it's back and then run it down and maybe go through this hole, or you know, maybe a different hole, something like that. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. But it'll be tucked under, you won't be able to see it. Yeah, and then before the spare tire area that I cut out, I think it had to be notched for this diff, or maybe it's the frame that needs notched, I can't remember. But regardless, it'll be up there tighter, and it'll be even rather than, see how this is offset? So the old fuel tank just sat on this side. So we're actually gonna have it centered in the car, so the weight will be more evenly distributed. And then I'll actually have enough room, or at least I think so right now, to where I can run a dual exhaust, one up here and then one on the bottom, just left and right of the tank. So I think overall it'll be a better option. So yeah, I'm gonna get this, some of these spots welded up. Let's see. I just welded this up. Got that done, and then I'm also working on the floor up here. So I need to make a patch piece for that. And then fill up all these holes, and then we could put some epoxy primer down. I really don't like it sitting here with just bare steel, but I don't really have a choice right now. And I still have to finish some of these spots inside here too. So we gotta get all that ground down. So we gotta fix the spot in the frame too. I'm just gonna box this, cut out a new piece, weld it in, and then somebody welded a bolt onto this frame and it looks pretty bad, so we're gonna get rid of that too. And also looking at some of these factory welds, like that right there, we need to grind that down and re-weld this. And of course, we have some rust right where the welds are at. I'm probably just gonna take like a small drill bit and drill those out and fill them back in. Okay, we finally got it all stripped down. All I need to do now is go over it with some 80 grit sandpaper, and then we'll metal prep it. Probably clean up this garage a little bit. It's kind of dirty in here from doing all this metal work and sanding and sandblasting. So we'll do that, clean up the garage, probably put some more plastic up on the ceiling, and then put the primer down. After we put the primer down, I have to seam seal it. So we got to do inside here and the top, the floor pans, some other areas down the side of this rocker. And then we can finally put the top coat on. When we put the top coat, we're pretty much done. Some of this stuff I'm probably going to have to respray later. As you can see, I cut this out. Plan on using a different tank style, so I'm going to have to trim some of this. And these holes I no longer need anymore, so most likely down the road I'll have to cut, grind, weld in some patches for those, and then probably respray it. Okay, I'm gonna get the sanding. That's gonna take me a while. Alright, we got our first coat. We're going low. What do you got time for that? Oh yeah, I got to spray this bottom. Alright, so we got our first coat done. I think I'm only going to do one. I used 1 quart, or no, sorry, half a quart. And we pretty much did half the car. You know, we only have this front frame left, so I got a half a quart just for that. This stuff actually sprays really easy. I was kind of surprised, like some of the areas I thought I were gonna have problems like getting coverage into, not really. This seems like wrapped pretty good for the most part. It actually already looks like it's dry, and it's only been 20 minutes maybe. But I have to wait 4 to 6 hours before we can put a top coat on it. And then we'll put the chassis black paint on it. And I think I got Satin, or it's like a 60% gloss, something like that. So yeah, I mean, this sprayed pretty good. Some of the stuff, you know, like obviously this looks so much better than, say, you know, inside here there's a bunch of dents and, you know, whatever. The stuff you're not really gonna see when the car is put together. You know, you got a transmission sitting in there, you're never gonna see any of that stuff. So I'm all right with it, no big deal. This area still gonna get cut out. And then yeah, I mean, like some of the framing area, you know, like getting paint up inside here and stuff, you know, it just seemed to wrap so well. And I kind of pushed it pretty close, like especially in this corner right here. I pretty much had the gun right up here, and I don't see a single run. One thing I had to do to be able to get paint up inside here, I had to turn my fan pattern down really, really small and just kind of shoot it right in the back. As you can see, there's no runs from doing that either. So yeah, this stuff's kind of awesome. I actually like the way it sprays. It's very easy. All right, cool. We'll give it until tomorrow, and then we'll come spray the top coat. All right, so this is just the epoxy primer. Let it sit overnight. We're gonna seam seal it now, and then we'll put the top coat on. So I'm gonna tape off a couple spots. I'm probably not gonna go too crazy. I'm not really worried too much about the appearance of this. In some areas I think I'd like it to look nice, but not overall too concerned about it. So I'll tape a couple areas off, then we'll seam seal it, come back, I'll get the top coat, mix it up, get it ready, and then we'll spray this, and then we're done. All right, we got the seam sealer down. Wasn't 100% sure where to put it. Some of these spots probably necessarily didn't need it, but it's there. Turned out pretty good. Definitely made sure to put it nice and thick up inside there on that wheel well, and then definitely inside here. Okay, now I'm gonna scuff it up with 320, and then we'll top coat it. Hear that noise? Yeah, I need to figure that out. Alright, we'll let it sit for 48 hours. We'll come back and check on it. Alright guys, so it's been sitting for about 48 hours. Looks pretty good. Definitely started off as really glossy, and then as it dried over the next couple days, it started to get more of a matte appearance. And I actually like the way it looks. Pretty happy with it, especially on the framing area. Came out very smooth. So yeah, I would definitely use this stuff again, and we will be in the front. So I got my pieces that came in. There's one sitting over there. We'll weld this on later, and then we'll put our frame connectors on all the way to the back. Alright, so that's where I'm gonna call it quits. I've been working on this thing for the past 4 or 5 weeks straight, so I'm gonna take a small break, and then when I come back, we'll work on those frame connectors all the way from the rear to up here. Be putting some new pieces on. And yeah, we'll probably start working on the interior next. There's a couple other areas I need to fix that are pretty rusty. We still got to put our custom box in here for our brake booster and brake pedal assembly. So yeah, for now, thanks for watching, guys.